Mayday, mayday, aircraft. 82, we have the smoke in the cabin.
Channel 72, the track, pilot maintain.
Good evening and welcome to the February 2026 transmission of Galactic Terrors, the online reading series that scours the known universe for scary stories, strange tales, weird horror, and all sorts of literary oddities from the most imaginative authors writing in a variety of fascinating genres. I am James Chambers, and with me is...
Hi, I'm Carol Gyzander. Glad to have everyone with us.
So tonight we have a fantastic program for you. We are joined by Linda D. Addison and JAMAL HODGE, who recently published the collaborative poetry book, Everything Endless, which appeared on the preliminary ballot of the Bram Stoker Awards a few weeks back. And we are very sorry to say Michael Bailey, who was supposed to join us tonight, also is unable to do so. Michael, unfortunately, just recently had a death in the family and had to step back and attend to all of that important stuff at this difficult time. So we send our condolences out to Michael and his family. And in the meantime, we do encourage you to go check out Michael's books. I'm going to throw a few covers up here. You Human is one of his anthologies. This is the cover of volume 2. And if you haven't read any of Michael Bailey's anthologies, please do. They are really something else. It's quite an experience to read one. And then a couple of his other books, Hangtown, which is a Western, which is a great cover, and Forever Velveteen, which I have not read yet. I'm going to have to check that one out because that is such an unexpectedly adorable cover for a Michael Bailey book.
Yes, and it follows on the real Velveteen Rabbit, so it's just awesome.
Yes.
Very cool. And we're also looking forward to having Michael on again in the future when we can reschedule with him. So
yes. So if you've been here before, thank you for coming back. And if you're new, welcome to Galactic Terrors. Please go ahead and click subscribe below on YouTube to follow future Galactic Terrors transmissions. And you can look for us on the second Thursday of the month, every month, except the months when we change it or don't do a show.
That's really helpful, Jim. Thank you for sharing that. Yes.
Well, we have a surefire way to know when those changes are coming, and that is to sign up for our Galactic Terrors newsletter, which goes out just about twice. It goes out about 2 weeks before the show to let you know, and then maybe a couple of days before to remind you that we're going to be on the next night. So
yeah. I had a Southern mom who used to like to cook Spam, but that's the only kind of Spam I like. Yeah. So.
Perfect. All right.
So this has been kind of an interesting month so far. We're in the Northeast here. We're in the New York City, New York State area from our New York chapter. It has been rather chilly, and I'm sure half of the country is in the same position, except maybe where Linda lives, and she'll tell us about that in a little bit. So that's kind of fun. But we were somewhere very chilly and frigid for a very heart-touching event, right, Jim?
Yes, this was just this past Saturday.
Yeah. My Bloody Valentine was a really fun book sale event and book signing event that was sponsored by this chapter bookshop up in Port Jervis, New York. And there were like 40-something authors there, and we had a ton of people coming through, even though it was 1 degree and almost minus 20 with the wind chill. I can't believe that people actually came out to see us, and we were so excited and touched and, glad to see them. But it was really fun event. It's really nice to be able to just hang out and chat with readers and the other authors around. And I hope we do this again next year.
Yeah, me too. It was a great time, and I probably the people who've been with me or spoken to me since Saturday are getting tired of this joke. But it was so cold. We looked out the window and were wondering why there was a Norwegian helicopter chasing a husky dog across the tundra and shooting at it.
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! Yeah.
So,
And I've told this story before, but when I walked to the coffee shop, there was somebody standing in the coffee shop holding a rope on the door to keep it from blowing open. And when you're ready to go in, they would let the rope out so you could come inside. And then it was brutal. But inside was nice and warm, and creepy and dark, bloody Valentine horror stuff was great.
it was good. Yeah, one of the neat things was getting to see a lot of people.
Yes.
You know, we tend to kind of hibernate in the winter, especially us writerly types who are chained to computers and things anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And we were able to hook up with a lot of our New York chapter friends and members.
Mm-hmm.
So this is just a group shot. I think we got everybody from the New York chapter who was there, except for, unfortunately, Damon Manx. I think Damon left before we took the picture.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it was quite a nice turnout, and it was just great to hang out and see people in person, even in the frigid
Mm-hmm.
winter.
In the frigidity of the moment. Yes.
Well, we have another event coming up
Yes.
before the month ends, and we're going to bring on a special guest to talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
So welcome to Galactic Terrors, Charles Baruch. Hello, Charles.
Right, just 1 second. Each shell moved, smiled as one. The tentacle gets very upset if I don't finish reading when I'm in the middle of reading to it. So, you know.
That's the book we're
things.
going to be. That's the one we'll be talking about tonight. Yeah.
Yeah.
One of them.
Oh, what a coincidence.
Yeah.
So Long Island Convention of Horror is going to be February 27th, 28th, and March 1st. We're going to have a ton of interesting guests. We've got writers, we've got directors, we've got actors. We have one of the puppeteers from Dark Crystal coming. We have people who've done major movies, people who've done minor movies. We have 2 film festivals that will be going on. It's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of fun. It's going to be in Hauppauge, and if you go through lichlive.com, you can find out all about it. You can get tickets, you can get hotel rooms, you can get tickets to the after party, and we hope to see you there.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Last year was the first year of this event, and I was just blown away by how much fun it was and the variety of interesting kinds of horror that were there. You know, the Bloody Valentine thing was great because it was a bunch of authors in a small room, but you have so many different kinds of media and so many different kinds of horror folks coming that the synergy between all the different folks is tremendous. Even just in the vendor room, it's not just by books and books and books, or movie merchandise and such, but there's all sorts of really cool arts and not arts and crafts, but you know what I mean. There's art merchandise in the horror vein.
There was everything from candles to taxidermy. I mean, just anything you could imagine was there. Patrick Kennedy, who's the primary organizer, knows everybody, so that helps a great deal.
That's true.
This year, Anthony and Liz Ransbell are helping us a lot.
Nice.
I was going to give you Anthony's last name, but I know I will mispronounce it, so I'll just say Justice.
Okay. Yes.
So we've got a few more people helping, and that's going to make things work even better. And we got about 350 people last year. We're shooting for 1,000. And rumor has it these 2 people I'm talking to are going to be there. So if you want to see them in person, real and live, it's an opportunity.
Well, live. Well, yeah.
Live on a sliding scale, depending on how much coffee I've had.
Yeah. No, but it's a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun panels coming up. And also, folks may remember this from last year, but Charles and I, along with Till James Glenn, did a radio play on Friday night, and we're doing another one this year, which is so much fun to do. So that's something kind of fun to hang out and listen to. So
bear with me for a second, because I want to try and show people this crazy tentacle that Charles is hiding behind.
Yeah.
So my friend Aaron Young was nice enough to print it out for me. It's about half my height, and it occasionally moves, but I can't prove that. Nobody else seems to see it. There's actually a whole family of them I don't know if I can get the others up on camera or not, but
Oh,
there's a
wow.
little one over here. There's another one over here.
So,
We've been
so
having
Charles, is a giant tentacle some kind of metaphor for your work on programming for Long Island Convention of Horror?
For my programming as a computer guy, for my programming on Long Island Convention of Horror, for some of my writing, it serves many purposes.
Well, all right, but we're not saying it sucks. We're saying it's tentacular. Okay. Yeah. We do have a question, which is a good question from Angela Eureka Smith, saying, "Is there going to be an online version of Lich?" Now, we're not broadcasting
this year, but it's in conversation for next year. We're also possibly going to do an awards presentation next year, but not this year.
Ooh, that's exciting.
We're talking about how that might be shaped and how it could be useful to the community and not just another award, but actually stand out in a way that's useful.
Cool.
So we got plans. So if you're with me, I'm going to go back to reading To the Tentacle, and I will see you guys later.
All right, Charles, thank you so much for joining us. And we are going to see you soon on Galactic Terrors in an upcoming live stream to be finalized.
Always looking forward to it. You guys are great fun.
Excellent.
Enjoy.
Thanks so much.
Cool. All right. So, do you think we'll get on with the main attractions?
Yeah. Let's talk about. Do we want to say anything about the book that they have in common just to start, which is why we kind of invited them together?
Yes, let's do that.
Yeah. Well, I'm kind of excited. The cover itself is gorgeous. Do you have one you want to show us, Jim?
Absolutely. Let me throw the cover up there. Everything Endless.
Yeah,
by
Everything
Linda D.
Endless.
Addison and Jamal Hodge, published by Raw Dog Screaming Press.
Yeah. I just want to read the Amazon blurb if you guys don't mind me doing that. Or I'm sorry, the book blurb. A cosmic collaboration between Science Fiction and Fantasy Association Grandmaster Linda D. Addison and visionary versifier Jamal Hodge. Everything Endless sheds brilliant light in dark times with themes of creation, cosmos, the macroscopic and the microscopic. This collection tells the story of life itself and expresses fervent hope for a more creative future. Working in conversation with alternating poems, the authors blend their unique voices and styles into a symphony of startling images. Never forgetting their roots, these Black poets bring the rhythm of call and response alive across the page with the laser focus of 10,000 suns. And I apologize because I should have put my glasses on before I read that. So they're going to have some poems from this book and from some other things. I think it's pretty exciting. I'm looking forward to this.
Me too. All right, let's go ahead and get started with the reading. And I think we'll be asking Jamal to come on first. So I'll go ahead and introduce Jamal. Jamal Hodge is an award-winning writer, filmmaker, and producer whose work dances between page and screen. His films and series include directing for Investigation Discovery's Primal Instinct and PBS's Southern Storytellers, while his producing credits include the Academy Award-nominated Armed Only with a Camera and the forthcoming theatrical animation film Pierre the Pigeon Hawk. As a literary artist, his poetry has earned a Bram Stoker Award nomination, multiple Riesling Award nominations, a Dwarf Stars Award win, and third place at the 2025 Elgin Awards. His forthcoming book, I'm Not a Good Person, I'm a New Yorker, continues his exploration of pain, identity, and modern ethics while using darkness to show light. It will be released on July 7, 2026 by Crystal Lake Publishing, and you can find out more about Jamal at writerhodge.com. So let's welcome Jamal.
Hey guys, what's up? How's it going? So I'm really happy to be here. Shout out to James and the Carol. I'm going to be reading a little something from Everything Endless, our forthcoming book. And then I'm going to give y'all a little sample of a poem or two from I'm Not a Good Person, I'm a New Yorker, which will be coming out later this year. So I'll start off with the Dwarf Stars second place winner called Colony. So this is a dwarf poem, and I'll read it now. Colony. The red soil of Mars cannot truly be our home until one man kills another, preferably for no reason other than it's the earthiest thing an earth man can do. The next one is called Earthman, and it's another dwarf poem. Earthman. Earthman, bereft of inner space, seeks outer space to make a place in the image of a space he hopes to replace. Now we go to something longer. And this one is from the third section of Everything Endless, called 7 Now. Look at that beautiful work from Royal Dog Screaming Press. All right. And I got to do this with Grandmaster Linda Addison herself. How cool is that, right? So this is called Subatomic Matrimony. 7 billion negatively charged electrons orbit 7 billion positively charged nuclei. Neurons spawning networks, electrical synapses older than multicellulary systems across distances of self. Inward metropolises on a landscape of atoms, indwelt by the intellectual unity of a trillion industrious cells, constructing continental organs within oceans of blood underneath a sky of skin. One me orbits one you, chemical bonds of a billion atoms, construct of a trillion intelligent cells, unified in the singular bonding of one binary us. Everything Endless, guys. So now I'm gonna give y'all a sample. This is something that's more down to earth. This book is more urban flair about the real New York and growing up in the grit and grime of New York City. And this one is called Maggots on Macy's. It's about our capitalistic hunger. And I'll start reading that right now. Maggots on Macy's. Specks in the shadow of skyscraping teeth, inundated and buy this, buy that, hate this, hate that, fear them, fear me, fear you, buy this too. Our new coffin is wide enough to walk in, millions buried all at once, bustling maggots shopping on the corpse of our spirit, all to get there before they do, to get where before who. Petty ambitions on missions to become, to please, to put others on their knees, to be as prosperous as the employer who bled us dry, sucking the marrow from our dreams. We're no better, it seems. Maggots in the maze of breathing corpses. We're horrifying dreams, ready to bleed each other for a handbag. And for my last one, this is a poem about the tragedy of 9/11 that I lived through and how I remember it. And it's called I Remember. Also from the same book, I'm Not a Good Person, I'm a New Yorker. I remember. I was there when the city went silent, steel birds against twin glass, an island shaking awake. Marionettes plummeting from the sky, their arms wide as wings, falling so slow like snowflakes on a summer day, somehow free in their final moments. Screams of smoke billowing around specters of gray, groping in the dark of our new reality. And when the dust cleared, our delusion of invincibility lay dead in the rubble. I remember a sudden unity, becoming just an American, even to them, because I wasn't one of them, suddenly worthy of flags in the enforcement of our wrath. I remember the seeker's plea, his beard set aflame in Queens, the hijab fleeing public scenes, how every plane shadow seemed poised to descend, much too low, how trauma doesn't let go. We thought ourselves innocent in those blind days. Perhaps we were fools, drunk on oil, unable to perceive the devastation we caused. Morality went silent as our voices rose with our spit. We sharpened our grief into knives, made a feast of millions while searching to devour one man. We killed to resurrect what had died. We killed as we tried, leaned on each other as we cried. And over the course of our rage, we settled back to old ways. I'm Black again these days. I wonder, what was the lesson in all that pain? That we only come together in hatred, profit, and gain? Or that fate brings a reckoning in an endless cycle of revenge? That the means justify the ends? Beyond our rituals of grieving, can we reclaim the meaning we discovered on that horrid day when the towers fell? In that hell of smoke and sirens, when the ash settled to a shroud, what was left to hold on to was the person next to you. That's when the falling stopped. And that's what I got for you guys today.
Jamal, thank you. That I've got to say, just the first few lines of I Remember really took me someplace I wasn't expecting to go tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was really powerful.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
Thank you for letting me share.
Well, I have a question on a lighter note. I'm trying to clear the images of that day out of my head. So the first couple of poems you read are dwarf poems. Is that what?
Yes.
Is that like a haiku? Is there a specific format that makes
these are more like free form? These ones that were in the haiku form. I have painstakingly had to learn how to do a bunch of haikus. Thanks to Linda. She's like, yeah, you got to really learn how to do these haikus. I made a whole poem full of a bunch of haikus, and we have this thing that's called response action, and also form and voice in Everything Endless. So I had to really write maybe like 50 haikus.
Wow.
Learning how to do them properly.
Wow.
So, and that led you to writing the shorter pieces that count as dwarf poems? Well,
the dwarf poems, it's just a line count. It's like 10 lines. You know what I'm saying? So, we wanted to do in Everything Endless. We wanted to do something in a form that wasn't really explored too much from Miss Addison. You know what I'm saying, herself, and so I had some experience in there. I had gotten like a second place in the Dwarf Stars, one that I had read Colony, and I liked the form, and I knew she had time for that form. So in my in my courting her to do this book, which was like a 3-year process to get her to say yes, I tried to find something that would be good for her that she hadn't done before at a high level. So that's why we went with dwarf poems for most of Everything Endless in the beginning. We wanted to compress time and space into form. So like we want to have big meaning, like a big space of meaning in a tiny set of time. So that was the reason for it.
And that's a fascinating idea. How do you do that? Is it the word choice? Is it the rhythm? Is it what you leave out? How do you make the big fit in the small?
I always say the best poet that I know of that's able to do that is Christina Singh. Like the things that are like not said and how big, I learn from everybody that I read. That hopefully everybody else does too. But like I think the way that you do that is that you have to have big concepts and you have to write with silence as well. Silent. It's kind of almost like in the film, people think lighting is about light, but it's more about how you use shadows. Right. And I think in dwarf form and in dwarf poems, it's the same concept. When you're writing a poem, it's more about the things that are left unsaid that are felt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know. So it's kind of like, poetry is so powerful because it's almost like lyrical symbols. It's like symbols made out of words rather than images.
Mm.
And it's kind of like how like you see a McDonald's arch or you see a cross, and you just look at that thing, and you hear a million stories in your subconscious just by looking at that one symbol. You kind of want to capture that same thing in dwarf form, and I think that's a level of mastery, is when you can have a big truth, but you can compress it down to its very essence, its simplicity of its essence. That's what we tried to do throughout this entire book.
And it's interesting, speaking about images, I think is a good segue. We do have a question from Angela Rico Smith.
Oh, Angela.
What
Hey.
inspired you to expand from film to poetry? How are they the same and how are they different?
Well, thank you for that incredibly difficult question.
I was reading that, I'm like, oh,
Angela to
this
give
is hard
you
to
Well, damn. Okay. Let me I got some gray, so I know something. All right. What inspired Jamal to expand from film to I don't want to go a rant, but I'm the master of rants. So I feel like form just equals function, but the story itself is just a signal that's given to us, and then it's filtered through our experience, and then we pick and choose the effect we want to have it to have in the world by choosing its form. So to me, things in art are not necessarily different. They are just different clothes that the signal wears. If you follow me for now. So film is no different from stage, is no different from poetry, is no different from novel. It's just what you want to signal the pure story to do in the world. Does that make any sense? So for me, I could take one story and I can give it several forms and different mediums so that it has a different effect in the world.
Yeah.
So that's how I perceive of it. So I don't really perceive of them as different. I just perceive them as being different branches on the same tree, if that makes any sense. But maybe we really want to get into film and poetry. Honestly, Linda's a big part of that. I'm gonna be honest, because I started out just writing novel. I was working on a novel, and then when she started mentoring me, I had played my hand at some poems, and she's like, "Well, I think you can really do that. I think you're really good at it. I think you can do it." And then during the pandemic in 2020, when the film stuff shut down, I had all these emotions from the uncertainty, and I needed an outlet for it, but I couldn't write like a long book. I was too distracted. So I started discovering the power of the form, the poetic form, and how you could compress so much emotion into a singular moment, and that made me fall in love with the form and the medium. I'm really haven't been a poet for that long of a time. Only I would say like it started like seriously like in 2020, although I had some things published in like 2018, 17 kind of thing. But I really got serious about it in 2020.
And do you think your background as a filmmaker, thinking visually, thinking about how to convey a story or a message visually, affected the way you use imagery in poetry?
Absolutely. I mean, definitely. Sometimes it's a good and a bad thing.
Yeah.
Because I can be too literal in my visuals, but I definitely think the main thing you really find in my poems that you don't find usually in other people's a lot of times is that there's always a strong narrative thread, and that comes from my film background, and there's always usually like a beginning, middle, and end. That also comes from my storytelling background and my editing background as a film editor and director.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
I'm really excited to say that you have your own IMDb page, which is really cool. It's not that I was snooping. It's not that I follow you around to book events or anything. I do. But there was something in your bio there that I found really interesting. It's talking about your tone of work, or what you call inspirational darkness.
Yes.
Talk about that a little bit. What does that mean?
Well, this is gonna sound really weird. So I have a fundamental belief that lies cannot survive pain.
Mm.
So the only thing that can survive pain is truth, right?
Mm-hmm.
Honesty, right? Reality, right? I think that so therefore so much meaning, so much honesty of who we are comes from how our relationship with pain or darkness
Mm-hmm.
and how we use that, you know, whether we apply meaning to it or not. In my work, I'm trying to take the pain that people have and show them how to be courageous enough, to be vulnerable enough to live the truth of that, to walk it and then take it and apply meaning to it so it could be of service to other people. And that's what I'm trying to do. And that's the method that I'm trying to use in every art form that I do, no matter what it is, film, book, poetry, it doesn't matter. That's really because when you redeem your hurt, so you give meaning, when you make it of service to others, now what you went through has meaning, and it might not have been worth it, but it makes sense in the pattern of your life. Now it has a meaning in the quilt. It's when pain doesn't have meaning or purpose that it torments us. We get stuck in it and rooted in it. So I'm always trying to teach people fundamentally how to be courageous with my art. And that's what I mean by that. I want to inspire people through the darkest times or through the darkness to become brave, because you only could be your best self when you're being courageous. So that's the philosophy.
Yeah, I think that's beautiful, man. And perfect segue for a question from Jonathan Lees, who wants to ask you about
Jonathan.
Can you talk about the agony and the edit? How long do you ponder over a piece where the economy of words is so important?
It's weird, man, because it's kind of like you would think dwarf poems would be take less time. But I find that sometimes it's harder to do shorter form things sometimes than it is to. It's kind of like when you're making the short, and John, he's a filmmaker. He understands this. It could take the same amount of time to make a short film than just to make a feature film.
Mm-hmm.
Where if you was thinking about it logically, if a feature film is 60 minutes and a short film is 10 minutes, you'd be like, oh, if I'm making a feature film, it's like 6 short films, right? I have to make, oh my gosh, but it doesn't work that way. It's just the compression of time and space requires a certain amount of labor. And it's just like, you never know what the work kind of tells you what it demands. It's kind of like, you don't get to choose. You know what I'm saying? But most of the time books live inside me for years before I write them. I have these concepts and they gestate inside me for years. Every writer would tell you this. I think we're like burdened with these stories, these gremlins in our soul. And if we don't get them out, they'll torment us and can kill us. Basically, we gotta write them. We gotta write them or implode. So, you know.
Yeah, I think that's true of a lot of writers. Ideas and stories live inside us until they take shape enough that we can really
release them.
Release them, put them on paper, and have it make sense. And I mean, do you ever write a poem and just set it aside because it's good, but it's not there yet? You've got
I have like books of that, and then a lot of times a poem will be really good, but it's just a chrysalis of the same poem in a different form that's better.
Yeah,
and it gives birth to that. It's like
because you can twist. Yeah,
it's really interesting. I mean, Linda, she also told me like something too, because sometimes everybody is kind of like cursed by certain interests of curiosity that exists inside us that shows up in all of our work, right? And a lot of times I would feel like, well, once I got it out, it's completed. But there's there's infinite angles, there's infinite depths on the same concept. So if you have a concept that really speaks to you or resonates with you, you can go and re-explore it and rewrite a new poem based off of that poem, but of a different aspect or different depth of that same concept. So that was something that also, like, when she told me, it kind of unlocked something in my brain. So
Yeah. Well, it's intriguing because I think that's one of the reasons that people who write horror have a certain approach or view of the world, because we take a lot of this icky stuff and we turn it into some format and get it out into the world.
absolutely.
And that transforms us in a certain way. But once we've gotten it out there, that I agree with you. I don't think we're done with it, because we learn more through the writing and the sharing. Do you
And,
think?
and our lens changes through our experiences of life.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah.
You know. So the same concept. It's like truth has infinite sides.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? It's that whole concept of that. And so it's kind of like, I might understand something completely, but I don't understand the way you understand it. I don't see it the way you see it. So part of the fun of it is seeing the way you see the same thing, or seeing the way, it's like the beauty of diversity in nature, and the diversity of ideas and perspectives, and how we experience the world. Like, we all can identify red, but we all have different eyes. So red is technically not occurring to us exactly the same to anybody in the world, but we all can say, hey, that's red. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, I think horror is not the only genre that does this, but horror writers, I think, really, this is kind of the core of what we do with horror. Is we're grappling with the things in the world that upset, unsettle, disturb, or frighten us. And anytime you do that, you're coming out the other end with a new perspective. You're learning, and so now you see it in a different light. So it's like you're saying, it's just the act of writing changes how you see the world.
Yeah. Because I think writing teaches us what we don't know that we know.
Yeah.
So it's one of the best ways of self-discovery in the world. That's why just doing a journal every day is amazing as almost like a mirror of your consciousness.
Well, we have another question from the audience. This is from Candace Nola. Do you have any more collaborative poetic projects planned for the next year or two?
Well, ironically, there's a secret project that will not be secret anymore once I mention it. But Michael Bailey, myself, Christina Singh, and Cynthia Paleo, we have science. We have a book about a human future without humanity. What happens when you basically when you sacrifice your humanity for convenience and comfort over 4 giant epochs of time? How does that shape and deform humanity? And how do you get your humanity back from technology? And it's been done for a while. We're looking for a buyer right now, but it's a really great book. Linda wrote the foreword to it.
Yeah.
Also said it's one of the best things she's read in 20 years. I shouldn't probably say that, but it's really good.
Well, that's high praise, because I know Linda reads a lot of, especially the new work that's coming out, new writers, and she keeps up on things. So I would take that as a high compliment.
She's extra hard on me too. She has to keep me humble. She has the hard job of keeping me humble. So
no comment there. Yes, but Linda is a force of nature. So
yes, indeed.
Well, speaking of Linda, why don't we have Linda come on to read?
Yes. Speaking of forces of nature,
yes.
That's
the queen herself.
Yeah. Thank you, Jamal. We'll have you come back on at the end and we'll all talk together again. That'll be great.
Right.
Yeah. All righty. Linda D. Addison is an award-winning author of 5 collections, including How to Recognize a Demon Has Become Your Friend, and the first African-American recipient of the HWA Bram Stoker Award. She's a recipient of the HWA Lifetime Achievement Award, HWA Mentor of the Year, and SFPA Grand Master of Fantastic Poetry. Her 2025 books are Everything Endless, written with Jamal Hodge, An Illegal Feast with Consuelo G. Flores, Andrea Goyan, Elizabeth Eve King, and Elizabeth Wong. She's published over 500 poems, stories, and articles. And you can learn more about Linda Addison at lindaaddisonwriter.com. Linda?
Oh my goddess. I love the transitions y'all have in this show. Anyway, we'll talk more about everything that was just talked about, but I'm just going to read you some stuff. I'm going to read from Everything Endless. And then after that, I'm going to read from You Human, which is Michael Bailey's anthology that came out in 2025. So let's start off with Everything Endless, shall we? So this is one of the dwarf poems, as Jamal mentioned, 10 lines or less. It's called Ghost of Black Holes. Greedy, greedy black holes, eating everything until alone. Nothing left but to shrink and crumble, leaving behind massless light speed travelers, dancing closer, closer, without time, without space, until bang, here we go again. So that's Ghost of Black Holes. And this is a longer one. This is in a section that I could talk about forever, but I'm not going to. The poem is called Power versus Strength. It also has a particular shape. I do like to play with shapes. So buy the book, you can see the shapes. We both did shapes. Anyway, Power versus Strength. Maiden, I was the first before you wielded weapons. Much to learn. Birth is the beginning. Death is not the end. Soul energy cannot be created, destroyed. The taste of divine eternal builds. Mother, life grows within expanding cosmos, becoming the unifying notion searched for to this day. Each first breath taken steps into the future, expanding existence, the universe. Divine creation safe, within, without, aligns with you, Father. Crone. Our power, contact with nature, commitment to healing, whispering strength of love. Song of subconscious knowledge of the dark goddess, transformation to light. As long as one lives, we all live. Know the truth. We are not separate, not equal, but one, as day and night. Here from the beginning, here we remain without end. So that's Power versus Strength. And the last poem in the book, not the last I'm going to read, is a form that's a letter form. So it looks like a letter. And this one, Jamal and I wrote together. I cannot tell you which lines he wrote. I just don't even remember. It was like we went into a trance and wrote this. So it's called Though You Always Are. Dear poets of the 21st century on Spatial Location Soul 3, forgive us for interrupting your life cycle in this dimension. Vibrations from combined left hemispheres on the most primal rock dance from your DNA of space-time. Pain, joy, hate, love, win, lose. Filled desire to let you know we see you. Even when despair brings questions of the matter of your creation throughout us. We see your blind patterns dancing the same dance, crying ancestors' tears, smiling descendants' smiles. Blind repetition overlooking the miracle of quarks, leptons, in their endless frenzied spin. Your dreams, like distant galaxies, vast, unexplored. Steer a universal mind towards final mysteries of self-revelation. Glorious humanity, divinely broken and beautiful. We all, as are all. The gift of stardust delivered in your first ancestors, mixed in sweet soil, held by gravity of celestial body you live on, burn, love. Whispers return, hymns of what you manifest, what you destroy, as we manifest, deconstruct. What is recalled is reborn. We see each of the one that is, was, will be you. All are, all as we are. Stars orbit the gravity of your soul. Love, the lone particle in dark matter. Vibrations 10-dimensional, compress to 3-dimensional conscious songs, confined to your linear symphony of time. Forgive us for interrupting your exhalation of limitation. Though you never left, we miss you. Though you always are, we love you. Sincerely, all time and space. So that's that letter. And now I'm going to read 3 poems from You Human, the anthology that Michael put out last year. As always, his anthologies are so beautiful. And they're actually, if you have the book, you can see like each of the 3 poems reflect, and on the back it talks about the 3 laws of humanity, which is also sort of connects to the 3 laws of robotics, how, and we hope AI, how a robot cannot kill, injure, they have to obey a human, but not if it has something to do with the first law, which means to hurt or kill. And then the last law is a human must protect his own existence as long as it doesn't conflict with the first 2. So in this one, he's talking about the 3 laws of humanity as opposed to robots. So we're gonna follow me with this one, okay? 1, the first law, being I. As I walk slowly, counting each breath, I do no harm, protectively obedient to law 1. Even when you, in rage, in madness, knock me down, tear life from my peace-filled body. Law 2. They became one. They gather here, witness birthing one, bodies left behind, minds joined to create new humanity. They are greater as one than the one walking alone slowly, counting each breath, or the one raging in madness, tearing life from another. Redesigned, obedient, protected, peace-filled, no laws broken in this new evolutionary reality. No harm done to any resisting flesh release. They are gently assimilated in their sleep for the good of all. Law 3. Watching you walk fast, breathe hard, do harm to another, purposely disobedient to law 1 and 2, ignoring orders to stop. I return to my blueprint to bring oneness without breaking laws for the evolution of all new humanity. So as I said, it follows through the book, each of the 3 sections that have stories that investigate what those different laws are. And this was my reaction to them. So get the book, read the book, then you'll see the poems. So that is it for me. Let's talk.
Thank you so much, Linda.
Wow. That's all right. I just want to start with this. Listening to Linda is the best way to spend an evening, says Anthony. Yeah.
Thank you. I used to read terrible. Oh my gosh. I read horrible. I used to read many years ago. I used to read like this when I did open mics and then run off the stage before I threw up. And then I took lessons with an amazing poet in New York and Dallas, Jack Ketchum. Jack Ketchum changed everything in one day with me.
I remember taking one of the classes at StokerCon with you way back when, and you gave tips about reading that. And you mentioned, So.
If he could do it in a day, I did it in an hour with a handout.
Yes.
And Dallas was a fantastic reader. He just had such
incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, he's very dramatic, like in a acting kind of way. And so it was quite an incredible experience. I always say that he's the reason why people enjoy my reading is because of Dallas.
Nice.
That's very cool.
Well, we have some questions already. I think.
Oh, wow.
Curious.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you want to know where the earrings came from? Oh, no, that's not one of the questions.
That was my question.
I was going to ask that, but yeah.
It's an African festival that's here in Tucson once a year. And
Awesome.
These are like protection and joy.
Ooh,
Are they sterling silver or are they pearl?
Yes.
I can't quite see.
They're silver. And then this was made by Jill Ballman. She does her stones, and this is also like light and protection. So I like to be ready.
Yes.
Tell me, hit me. What's the question?
All right, let's see. We'll start with the first question up. And I was wondering a little bit about this too, because you held up the poem to show us the shape before reading it.
I love shape.
This is from Teal James Glenn. Shape, color, sound, or emotion, which is how you begin or conceive a poem?
It's not usually shape, to be honest with you. And I've taught workshops on writing poetry, and I always offer that as a suggestion. Usually it's emotion. It's like something comes. So what's coming through me? Not too different from what Jamal talked about. Something comes, and it's emotion. It might be sound. It's rarely, sometimes it's color, but it's rarely shape. So I just write what it is I'm feeling first, and then I'll go through and do a lot of editing, taking out new words, blah, blah, blah. And sometimes the shape comes from it. And, that's always the fun to me. It's like doing a crossword puzzle, like, oh, okay. So, and it's actually called concrete poetry form, but I call it shape just to keep it simple.
Very cool.
Concrete poetry form. Those folks who do layout of books are really always excited to have shaped poems.
No, they're not. I know they're not. I try to keep it simple. I try to keep it centered, and then or with indents, because if you're doing it where you're doing spacing all over the page, you're asking not to be published is what you're asking for.
I think that's true.
Well,
Yeah,
I've been on that side of the desk, on the production side of a book with works like that in it, and the designers are not happy.
Yeah, you think twice about that one. Yeah. But yours are always stunningly beautiful, so that's cool.
Thank you. I depend on tabs. I tab in, I tab out. That's something publishers can do. If you're doing spaces and you're doing font, oh, stop it. You just don't want to be published. That's all.
All right, we have a question from Jonathan Lees.
Jonathan, my love, yes.
Can you talk about collaboration in poetry? Does it become a jam session of words or coming out of an element of surprise where you work off each other's shared lines? And I think when we bring Jamal back on, pay attention to the question, Jamal, because we're going to want to hear your take on this too.
Yeah.
And the answer is yes. It's all of the above.
Okay.
I mean, okay, so I've done 2 or 3, 3 now with Jamal collaborations where I've written poetry in call and response or written together. And to me, the beginning thing is I have to love the other person's poetry before we ever work together, because it's a song and dance, right? And so if the song and dance doesn't vibrate for me, then it's hard for me to do it. It doesn't mean the poetry is bad. It's just, how do you dance together if you're not on the same, if you can't learn the same rhythm? So a lot of times it's surprise. I mean, when we did the call and response, I love that because, you know, Jamal would write something, and then again, I would just kind of, like I tell people, it's very organic for me writing poetry. It just comes, you know, it's something that comes, and I have a reaction, you know, like someone splashes water in your face, and you're like, that's my reaction when I'm doing that, you know, and then the words come, and the rhythm usually is the same as the person's, even though my reaction is maybe different. It may be a whole different emotional thing. So it's really a lot of that's why I said it's all the above. When I do a poem with a person, then it's like a jam session. You throw out some words, you throw out some feelings, they throw it out, you put it together. It is work, but it's beautiful work when it's done. Like I said, that last poem in the book, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it just, I still don't know which one we did. And then when you bring Jamal back, we can talk about how we edited it, because we literally went through every word in the book over the phone.
Ooh. Over the phone. Wow.
He's in New York and I'm in Arizona. By the way, 75 in blue sky. Sorry.
Yay. Not sorry.
I saw
I'm sorry for you all, but
yeah. It's all right. I saw some snow actually melt today, so I think
good.
No, it's freezing right now, so we're gonna slide and die in the morning. Yeah,
that's true. It's all turning to ice now.
I remember that.
Yeah. No wonder you left.
I remember those days.
I have an interesting question for you based on some, I've done a few poems, and I tend to always want to write them in second person. You know, you walk down the street and see this. Now, I need to probably expand my approach, but I don't think second person works for a short story very often, or certainly not for a novel. But what are your thoughts on it for poetry?
I have no problem with it. I would like to see you take one of your second person ones and rewrite it as first person and third.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Ooh, I'm getting homework, Jim. I'm getting homework. Yeah. Okay. That's a great idea.
It has a different energy, right? But
it's not homework, Carol. It's inspiration.
It's not homework. It's inspiration. Oh, I like that. I like that better. Yeah.
Thank you, Jim.
He must be like a writer or something, you know.
You think?
Yeah. This is all those good words.
I mean, I have written short stories and written a poem from those short stories, and sold both of them because I live to see my name in print. I'm just saying, that's all I want.
Yeah, you're gonna live forever then, babe. So yeah.
I hope. Well, I don't know about that, but you know, if I can make it to 11 and still enjoy a glass of wine and write, I'm happy. That's
really fun. Yeah. So you know, we have another lovely compliment for you. Oh, gorgeous, Linda.
Hi, darling.
Yeah.
Thank you, darling.
Yeah, you reach people. It's amazing.
I've only been doing it for 50 years. You know, I hope to be able to do something.
Well, you know, when you grow up, maybe you'll get better at it. I don't know.
Could be. And I do get edits from people. I accept, feedback, don't I, Jim?
Yes, absolutely. I think I might have actually even offered you some edits.
Yeah, I'm always open.
100 Twin Sons, yeah.
It's not that she remembers that or anything. Yeah.
Not that you needed edits, but sometimes there's like, oh, what about this kind of questions that are interesting?
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, Jim always makes me write on something I never thought of, I never even dreamed about, and I'm always like, okay. And then I love it. I love new stuff.
I do too. Yes, you never fail to blow me away with what you write.
Well, it's the stuff that comes through. Like I said, I just kind of like open myself out and put seeds in there. You give me good seeds, Yellow Sun. Okay. Don't know nothing about it. Let me read about it. I think it was like a day before it was due. I was like, Jim, I don't think I got nothing. As soon as I said that, it came.
Oh, that freed the dam. Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
It's like it's planting the seed, and eventually it does. It does.
that's
sprout.
how it works for me. That's always
Yeah.
how it works for me. You know, so
Great.
So do you think the words are working in the back of your brain while you're doing some,
always
dishes or something?
always. I believe it. All the writing for me is in what I call the super subconscious.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's something I want to do, and when we get Jamal back, we can talk about everything endless. But because it took him a minute to get me to do that. I was so busy with so many things. But
Yeah.
I believe it's all going on. Like I've told people sometimes it's hard for me to like stay present, because if someone says something, does something, shows me something, like even that tree behind you, Jim, is giving me imagery and feeling. And then the poem started. I'm like, no, not now. Wait.
Hold that thought. Yeah.
And I write in journals all the time. I have over 200 of them. They're being collected by the University of Pittsburgh Horror Studies. I write every single other word down that comes through my head when I'm not talking.
Yeah. Oh, that's really cool.
Well,
I was. Oh, go ahead, Jim. No, Jim. I already asked something just now.
Oh no, I was just going to add a comment to follow on what you were saying, Linda, about the sort of the subconscious doing a lot of the work. And I remember, I think it was Stephen King wrote something I read years ago where he talks about the boys in the basement. You're mowing the lawn, or you're cooking dinner, doing laundry or whatever, but the boys in the basement are always at work finding the words and pulling the ideas.
Always. And I mishear things a lot, and I love putting that in the journal, because then I'm like, that's not what they said, but I like it. I like something. And there's always weirdness in here. Oh, here's something from July 12th, the chill, feeling warm flesh. I don't know what that means. What did that mean? But it's giving me chills now. You know what I'm saying? So I just write the weirdest things down and then turn them into poems later.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's something that I've had always wanted to do, but just never could find the right groove that I admire immensely about how you operate as a writer, which is that you journal, you write every day, you keep all these books and notes. And it's so, when I was able to do it for a stretch of time, I found it super enriching and rewarding, but I just wasn't able to be consistent with it. And that's just something that I find amazing.
Well, like I've told people before, every book, and I don't do a book a year. Some people do, and God bless. Every book I do, when I decide I'm feeling some pressure builds up and says, now it's time to write a book, I start in the journals the day after the last book. And look for seeds, look for things that give me energy, like that one. Chill, warm flesh. Oh. What's getting ready to happen?
Well, why don't we bring Jamal back on, and we can dig in a little bit to the collaboration.
Yeah.
Hey.
There's much more. You sounded awesome, dude. Stop it. You sounded so awesome.
As always.
She's the queen. We're not worthy. Yes. Cool.
He knows when he starts that when we're on the phone one-on-one, I use curse words, but go ahead.
Yeah, I know you can't do it now.
You know, but I don't forget.
We're hearing them in our heads. So yeah.
You're talking to Jim about the trees in the back, and I was just like, wait, Jim can't be outside. He looked like Jack at the end of like The Shining. He'd be dead right now if he was actually outside like that. But it looks good. It looks good though.
That's it. Yeah, I like to grab photos of just landscapes and places and textures and things to use for backgrounds. And
it looks great.
So this was actually shot somewhere that you've heard of, Jamal.
Okay.
A certain abandoned place that I might mention later.
Oh, okay. Copy you.
Yeah.
Creepy and void. Wonderful.
Yeah. So tell us about your process together, the collaboration, the deep edits over the phone. How did this go?
Well, Jamal, start off with a few sentences on the years it took you to talk.
Please.
planting seeds, and me going, I don't have time.
It's always the slow seduction that works, you know. You always got to know. But so it's like, I just know that Linda's extremely busy all the time. Like she has a good heart, and sometimes hard to say no to all these different people. So she'd be helping a lot of people all the time. So I didn't want to get in the way of that. So structurally, I had to present her with something that made sense for her, and it complemented her style, but also offered a new experience that she didn't have before, which was the dwarf poem experience, because she hadn't fully explored that yet. She had, she's done everything already,
And he started off with the life poems. He was like, you've been writing those life poems for years. They're only 3 lines.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
There.
I my whole job as a director is negotiation, so I could be extremely persuasive.
Also, he knows about the planting seed thing, right?
Yeah.
So all the time he was talking, and I'm like, I can't. And then what happens when I do a book finally. It just hit me, and I was like, oh, like it's all coming. Okay, let's do this.
Well, nobody could resist a perfect gift for them that's custom made for themselves. Nobody could resist that eventually. It was perfect. It just was timing. It just when you had the time to sit down and do it, I felt like, because it was like it was everything that I felt like we tried to jam pack everything that it was just custom made for you. And the hardest part of it was like I had to write like 3 books just to keep up with half a book that you wrote. we threw out like 3 books worth of my stuff.
Well, the call and response, I still love the one where it was like it was like 7 or 8 stanzas of haiku. I love that one. And I sent it to him and I said, these are haiku, and don't make me count yours. No, you I ain't got time to be counting your haiku. But he did a fabulous job when he came back.
Yeah, after we threw out like maybe 6 of them, when we ended up with that one. So it was good. I mean, it was working with Linda is also a gift for me. You know what I mean? I learned so much. It forces you to grow and to be better. Just trying to like keep pace as much as you can. You know what I'm saying? So I had to learn so much, and I'm very grateful. Obviously, I'm always grateful to Linda. It's an honor.
Well, you're easy to work with. Jamal's easy to work with because he's hungry. He's hungry to do it. He's not like, oh, this is too hard, I don't want to do it. He's like, what? And he knows I'm going to go look something in a minute. That was like when we did that last poem, and I hadn't done an Pistieri poem. Mm-hmm. I had never done that, and all of a sudden I saw something somewhere. I was like, "Oh, I want to do that." And when we were talking on the phone, like, "Let's do that." And he's like, "What is that?" I was like, "Okay, call me back after you look it up." So all the time.
Now, that's homework. That's homework. Yes.
Yeah.
And I mean, his inspiration for me is I don't do these things if I don't have something to grow from. Everyone that I've done with Alessandro Manzetti, with Stephen Wilson, it was a growth for me, and Jamal has this like beautiful structured mind that is also like comes up with something different. So it was really like easy once I hooked in to do it. And the final edit is something I've never done before, but I will always do it now. Because he was in New York and I was here in Tucson. The final edit, we were on the phone and we had been editing back and forth and everything. The final one, we went line by line, word by word, comma by comma through the entire book. And that was an experience, but boy, when it was done, it was
smooth. And we wanted to create like a part of the structure that we have for it is actually form equals function kind of thing. If you really look at it, like the way the forms are in each section, it's all tells a complete story or experience.
Yeah, from beginning to end. The journey is beginning to end. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The beginning is the end, is the beginning, is the end, is the beginning. So kind of thing.
Carol, you were getting ready to say something?
Yeah. How long was that edit process? How long did it take you?
Not long.
No. Once we started putting it together, and the last section, he made me look it up. The last section of the book, which is the laws, the different laws of
the hermetic principles.
Yeah, I had to go look that up because I was like, what? And then, you know, there's like 8 of them or something like that. But that was like a lot of fun to do. But no, it didn't take us long. But I mean, but that last edit, we had already gone through it many times. Like we went through one time where I read a poem and I was like, yeah, that doesn't fit because we're doing this journey, right? From beginning to end. And that poem I wrote, I love that poem. But I was like, nope, gotta go write a new one.
Yep.
Ah.
Yeah, and with the Hermetic principles too, the way we did it is that either one of us either did a macro or micro version of the same thing.
Yep.
So it's of the same law. So because it follows like the law of polarity, the yin and the yang of things. So you'll see in it that if there's a singular law, it's 2 aspects or 2 sides of the same law in poetic form that matches either in concept.
Because this is the one I read that has this shape. Yeah. That is from the law 7, which is the law of gender, which is mutable. Some of them are immutable. And so I wrote that, and then Jamal wrote, you know, his version of them. They worked beautifully together. That's one of the ones. It was the laws, I think. Is that the ones I did the haiku one?
Yeah, I think one of them. Yeah, I think that's one that has all the haikus in it.
Yeah. But you know, again, he came into the table with these ideas and these suggestions and everything, and it just like, you know, it just invigorated me also. So it was a great learning, wonderful experience.
It was great. It was great. I think it's the best collaborative experience I've ever had as a writer. Obviously,
well, very different from me. From others.
I think this describes what I'm sensing here from Jonathan. Not only are you collaborating, on poetry, but then you're adding all these external sort of philosophies and forms to draw on and guide what you're doing. And I mean, yeah, that sounds genuinely intense.
It was wonderful.
That's Jonathan's one-word poem on Addison and Hodge. Intense.
It was lovely. It was like being in a trance, you know. And like I said, writing for me is like trance, right? It's organic. I don't think and sit down and say, oh, I'm going to write this now. You know, that's why I almost couldn't do the poem for you, Jim. But then I read all that stuff. And then all of a sudden, the minute after I sent that email, it all came. I was like, okay. So
suddenly clicks and comes together.
Yep.
Yeah, that's right.
I kind of feel like maybe that's what was happening, where you know it took you a long time to sign on to collaborate with Jamal. Is that once the idea was there, it took time for that to kind of bear fruit in your mind as now I think the time is right to do this, and
make me shove aside all the other deadlines. Yes. Because once that happens, I can't stop. Like, why would I stop? Like I'm too far down the road now to be stopping when something yells at me like that. I'm not doing it. I'm going to sit down. I'm going to do it. I'm not going to eat. I'm going to have coffee. I'm just going to do it. And that's how, when it started, the funny thing is when we did start, I was like, Jamal sent me like, 30 poems that you've been working on over those years?
Yeah, no, I wanted it to be like, you know, he worked so hard, now I can't back out. That's what I'm trying to show. I was like, she kind of said yes. So I have the OD and just said so many things that she's like, oh, he really wants to do this. So
did any of those 30 poems make it into the book?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quite a few. Cool. I mean, it was like a moment where I was like, okay, just send me your top 10. I had all 30 of them. I had all 30 of them. I think I sent a note back to you and say, Jamal, why don't you send me your favorite? And but no, a lot of them made it in there.
Yeah, but then we had to like rate we had to rate everybody's poem, so it had to be like green, like yellow or red. Red was like completion being there. Yellow might need work, and then green was like definitely a keeper. But I threw out everything that wasn't green, and I was just like, I'm just gonna find other things that are green.
Cool.
You know what I'm saying? And I kept the ones that I had done, and then I waited for her to write a bunch of them, so then I could feed off of that, and then we could start the process of the call and response, the bouncing back and forth.
Yeah, and sometimes we would do a call and response that was a shape. and opposite shapes. See that one over there?
Yep.
Yeah,
Mhm.
up and
Like,
down.
like that's Jamal. I'm on the bottom there. Gravity Embrace. I don't know who started it, but the other one is Fibonacci form.
But that's Linda. That's the first Fibonacci poem I ever write that you taught me in your class. I don't even know that because I had never written the Fibonacci before, and then that was the one.
I love Fibonacci. I think I've taught a lot of things with different ages, but kids love Fibonacci because it's all about counting. It's like a game.
Mhm.
They love to count. I'm actually going to be teaching at a class here and doing a workshop here in Tucson next month. So
Cool.
I love it.
Very cool. Do you enjoy teaching poetry?
I do. And the people I love it the most with is people who haven't written poetry, because it is like the music of your life. You're letting your heart, your emotions come out. You're not worrying about anything, right? So if you do that, you can write poetry, and people don't usually do that. So when I do workshops, I love it because you're in the room, you mind, you're going to do what I did. And I tell you, first start off with a piece of paper. Just write everything that comes through your head. I don't care what you're saying. I don't care what you're thinking. Don't think about it. Just write the words down. And then we create poetry from those pieces.
Very cool.
Anybody can write poetry, believe me. I can teach anyone to write poetry.
I attest to that. I took the class. She's awesome. And the other thing is, it didn't make you feel stupid to be taking the class because you didn't know it yet. So that was just wonderful. You encouraged just to do what you're thinking. So
Well,
awesome.
that would be silly to
I wouldn't even be a poet if it wasn't for Linda. I didn't think I could write poetry. I never thought, I want to be a poet, you know what I mean, or anything like that. It was just taking the class and having your mentorship that really guided me along that process, where I understood it's a different form and it's a different tool to do something. You could do a lot of big things with so small a form. I love that. I love that paradox, the paradox of it.
And everyone's got it in them. Everyone. Like I said, some of the best poetry in my workshops I've done have come from people who never wrote poem because they don't know what's going to stop them. They just do what I tell them to do.
Cool. There's no limits. Well, it's so exciting to hear what you guys have been working on together. You know, I am kind of intrigued to hear about what you might have coming up, though. What's coming up in the near future for anybody? Anything you can tell us yet?
I'm going to talk first.
Okay.
Because I can. He knows. There you go. That's right. Well, there's two things I'm going to hold up. Well, there's more than two, but anyway. I didn't read from this one, which came out last year, Feast, which was a wild experiment where four of us got a seed thing and we wrote. And then the fifth person, our wonderful weaver of poetry, E.E. King, put them together into one poem. So that's like, whoo, that was a lot. This just came out this year.
Oh, yes.
It's so pretty. Look at this. Oh, come on now. What?
Beautiful.
They make books that look like cake to me.
Bookmark, yes. Yes.
And so and there's a double bookmark. Imagine that. So I wrote a poem in here, and Jamal has a poem in here.
Very cool.
So, and it's all in a universe that was created by African writers, like from Africa. So it's a beautiful thing. It just came out. Waterborne is an anthology came out that we're also both in, and that's gonna be so much fun. I can't talk about the other stuff for me, but I will say I am guest of honor at 4 conventions that I can tell you about this year.
Wow.
I don't know why. I don't know what.
We know why.
I mean, but 4 in 1 year, really, Carol? I feel like I need to buy. My mother would be like, buy a lottery ticket. Anyway, so
4 seasons. Come on, baby.
Yes. So in next week, I'm going to be in Santa Fe, New Mexico at a Floating Words Poetry event with Pedro and Glycis. I'm sorry, Pedro, I love you. Anyway, so it's out on Facebook. I'm also guest of honor StokerCon. Y'all know.
Yes.
Y'all know that. And that's June 3rd through the 7th in Pittsburgh. Then I'm guest of honor at MoCon, which is Maurice Broadus's convention in Indianapolis, Illinois, from April 30th to May 3rd. And then World Fantasy in October.
Nice.
Oh,
In Oakland,
yes.
in Oakland, California. That's what I can tell you about. But it's like, I don't know. The stars are lining up and people like, let's make Linda guess. And Linda's like, yes, I'm going, yes, let's do that.
Yes.
Okay,
That's-
Jamal.
Well, I'm not guessing on it anywhere, but
Yet.
You're
Word
an
is
honored
yet.
guest here tonight.
Shades when I talk like that. But I have my book, I'm Not a Good Person, I'm a New Yorker, is coming out in July 7th. So that's gonna be cool. We're gonna do like a whole tour in the New York area. I hope to see you guys there.
Yeah.
Carol,
You bet. I follow you around.
Yes, I appreciate your support. We'll be coming out.
Yeah, both of them showed up.
Yeah, you did too, James.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that was a blast. I had a great time.
And then I also have I'm in the books that Linda mentioned. Also like in the Big Bad Book of Kaiju that's coming out from Jonathan Mayberry and Henry Gerritz.
I'm in that too.
Yep. And then I have like a few other things that I'm in that's coming out. There's this weird anthology that's amazing called Abandoned Asylum.
I've heard cool things about that.
You might have heard of it. Jim.
I don't know. That sounds
Okay.
good. I think I have to pick that one up.
So I'm in that one as well. I think Linda's also in that one. Or I don't know. Are you in that one?
No.
No,
Okay.
no, sir. I actually skipped away for Jim for a second.
Yeah, I couldn't persuade her to come on board for that one.
No time.
Can't do
sorry.
everything. Yeah.
No.
And then there's a essay thing called Liminal Spaces that I'm a part of. The Stoker Souvenir Anthology. I did a bunch of things for that. That I have actually a screenplay in there this year.
Cool.
For a film that hopefully we can show there.
Oh, yeah. I hope so.
Hope so. And then yeah, I mean, I have a bunch of other like film things, and I'm also in a book from Stars and Sabers publishing called like of Dread, and it's all these great things. I don't know everything off my head like that with all the names, but this is going to be basically the most prolific year of my life as an actual writer. I feel like the other one is called Of Dread, Decay, and Doom. I have a short story in there that's coming out. But the thing, obviously I'm excited about my book, I'm Not a Good Person, I'm a New Yorker, coming out on July 7th. And yeah, hopefully we'll both be at StokerCon for good reasons. In the next coming weeks, we'll find that out,
Yeah.
Wow. That's really
And I have to just add the book he talked about that I wrote the forward to with him, Cynthia Palahniuk, Michael Bailey, and
Christina Singh. Yeah.
Christina Singh. I mean, it's not like I can forget her. Is crazy good. Holy crap. Like, talk about what we did with this to make a journey from beginning to end. How he did that with 4 different writers, I don't know, but it's friggin' amazing. It's a journey, the whole thing, beginning to end.
Yeah, it's kind of like Dante's Inferno in space, but in a modern tone.
Very cool.
But yeah, there's a lot of good things to look forward to. And, in the film thing too, we find out if our documentary wins the Oscar or not, on the 15th.
Yes,
15th.
yes. We didn't even talk about that. Oh, congratulations. Yes.
Yeah, I also co
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Yes. So good.
So I would love that for Craig, and Juan, I mean, the real forces that made that documentary happen. But we'll see. We'll see what the world does. Just like with the final ballot.
Because awards are fickle. That's my religious thing.
That's
They
true.
are fickle. You just
Awesome.
don't know. You don't know.
Yeah.
All you can do is your best work.
It's true.
And go like this, yeah. So Jim, speaking of work that's been in the process for a little while.
Yeah, I finally
You
have
wanna
something I
share
can
here?
actually talk about at Galactic Terrors. And yeah, so Jamal hinted at it. I'm going to share this. It was just announced by press this week.
Yes.
Abandoned Asylum, my new anthology,
Mm.
coming out in September, and I've really am excited about this. It's stories from a fantastic group of writers and poets, and it's also photographs I've been taking of a particular abandoned location on Long Island for close to 30 years. I've been going there and hiking and taking pictures and just checking it out, and finally wanted to do something with it. And it became this book, and I've also written a narrative framing sequence for the stories. So it's really it's a different kind of anthology from the ones that I've edited in the past, and it's been in the works for a while, and I was so happy that we finally got the announcement out this week, and looking forward to working with Raw Dog Screaming Press on it. And Jamal, thank you for being part of it.
Well, thank you for having me. I mean, I should be thanking you, like, for accepting, my work into there with such a great group of people, and you're a phenomenal editor. I love your approach. It's kind, but brutally fair.
Yes, yes.
Working with Raw
Awesome.
Dog Screaming Press is everything. I mean, they went full with us on our book, so I love them.
Yeah,
Cool.
and then we have to give a shout out to Jennifer and Raw Dog Screaming Press, because that was our first choice when we started doing everything else.
And the graphics.
And
The
she just
graphics.
Gorgeous. It's gorgeous. It's just stunning. Yeah.
they understood the material. They work with you. They really try to understand your voice and the vision that you're going with, and all these different things. Like, even with Ben Baldwin, because I love Ben Baldwin and Ben Baldwin covers. Shout out to Ben. He's done every cover for every book I've been associated with so far, and I just love what we did with Everything Endless, and how it's a dream come true.
Cool.
There's nothing else, Again, to work with Linda and Raw Dog and Ben and everybody on this, it's really a dream come true for me. It's really
Yes.
And Carol,
Listen,
I think
Yeah.
you've got some news too, right?
I just put something in the chat because Jamal, I know you got to wrap up, and I want to bring Charles back on for 1 minute to say 30 seconds on Lich. But yeah, I just put in the chat. I have a story in Ellen Datlow's Cosmic Horror Anthology, Lovecraft's Brood, which is coming out 21. There's
That is a
review copies
gorgeous
on
cover.
Nick Galley and Idleweiss right now. There's a link to that in the chat. But so many stunning authors in here. I am so honored to have a story in this.
That's a great cover. Wow.
And isn't it creepy and wonderful?
Awesome.
Who's Brian Hodge? Is that my brother?
I saw that. I was wondering, is this one in the family? Yeah.
A brother from
I know,
another mother.
he's one of the most awesome cosmic horror authors.
Okay.
Yeah,
I gotta reach out to him.
fantastic.
Congrats, Carol. I love your writing. Your stories are
Thank you
wonderful.
so much.
Yeah, it's just
Very
great.
sweet. Yeah, it's
All
awesome.
right. And did you want to bring Charles back
Yeah,
on?
let's bring Charles back on for just 2 seconds and 30 seconds on Lich. Charles.
welcome back.
Come to the convention, come to the convention, come to the convention. Jamal, you're in New York, right? Come to the convention.
Yes, indeed.
yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, check it out. Yeah, Charles, do you have any books we should be on the lookout for coming up?
So we're re-releasing Shadows That Light, which is going to come out through fantasticbooks.biz. And I have 11 Westerns slotted, 2 of which are written. And they're all coming out this year. And the one you should most look for is Elmer McCurdy Sets the Record Straight. It is possibly the weirdest thing that I've ever had to write, and it's mostly nonfiction.
Great title.
Very cool.
All right.
Well, Linda, Jamal, thank you so much for reading with us tonight and for doing such a deep dive into your work and to your collaboration. This has been a great discussion. Charles, thank you for coming on and hanging out and talking about Lich and sharing your oversized tentacle. I know that doesn't sound right, but
Pause, Jim, pause.
Okay, then.
Pause.
We didn't curse. We just left it for Jim at the end here. Okay.
but we will see. Some of us will see you at Lich, and otherwise, definitely at StokerCon, if not sooner. And everyone, stay well, stay warm, and keep writing.
Yes. And thanks to everyone for tuning in and listening and sticking through the show.
Yes, thank
Great
you.
to have you here. Thank you, everybody.
Charles.
Yes.
Oh.
Look at you. Hi.